The stars twinkled in the vast darkness as the colony ship Prometheus sailed through space. After 3 years of travel, the crew was tired but hopeful. They were the first humans to venture this far from Earth, looking for new planets to call home. Captain Minji stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the main screen. She was 42 years old with short black hair and a calm face that rarely showed fear. 20 years in Earth's Space Force had taught her to stay cool even when things got bad. "Captain, we're picking up something strange," said Do-hyun, the ship's sensor officer. His fingers moved quickly over the control panel. "It's big and moving fast toward us." Minji nodded. "Show me." The screen changed to show a massive ship, unlike anything humans had built. It was smooth and curved like a giant silver leaf, at least 10 times bigger than the Prometheus. "Try to talk to them," ordered Minji. Standard greeting message on all channels. The crew waited, hearts beating fast. This was the moment humans had dreamed about for centuries, first contact with aliens. The reply came quickly, but not as words. A strange beam of purple light shot from the alien ship, surrounding the Prometheus in a glowing net. "We're caught in some kind of field," shouted Jinsu from engineering. "Our engines are shutting down." Minji gripped her chair as the ship shook. "Full power to shields. Try to break free." A face appeared on their screen. At least they thought it was a face. It had 4 glowing eyes set in a head shaped like a diamond. Its skin was blue-gray and looked like metal. "Primitive beings," the alien said in perfect English, having somehow learned their language instantly. "We are the Zorani Collective. Your ship and crew now belong to us. Do not resist." Minji stood tall. "We come from Earth in peace. We seek only to explore and find new homes for our people. We mean no harm." The alien made a sound like metal scraping. It might have been laughter. "Peace is for equals," it said. "You are not our equals. Your technology is simple. Your bodies are weak. You will serve the collective or be destroyed." The ship shook harder as it was pulled toward the massive alien vessel. Warning lights flashed across every control panel. Minji turned to her crew. "I need options. Now." Tae-hee, the science officer, spoke up. "Captain, I'm seeing something odd about their energy field. When our communication signals pass through it, there's a small drop in power. If we send a strong enough burst all at once, we might break free," finished Minji. "Do it." The crew worked fast, routing all power to the communication array. It wasn't built for this purpose, but they had no choice. "Ready, Captain," said Do-hyun. Minji took a deep breath. Fire. A massive burst of energy shot from the Prometheus, hitting the purple field at its weakest point. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a flash of light, the field broke apart. "Full power to engines," yelled Minji. "Get us out of here." The Prometheus shot forward, engines burning hotter than they were made to burn. The Zorani ship turned to follow, but humans had always built for speed. "They're charging weapons," warned Do-hyun. "Evasive pattern Delta," ordered Minji, "and drop our warning beacon." As the Prometheus zigzagged through space, a small pod ejected from its rear section. The pod contained Earth's coordinates and a simple message recorded in Minji's steady voice. "We come in peace, but threaten us, and we'll fight back." The Zorani ship fired, but the shots missed as the Prometheus jumped to faster-than-light speed, disappearing into the darkness of space. On the Zorani vessel, Commander Galen of the Exploration Division stood before the High Council's hologram. The 4 council members glowed with anger. "You let them escape," said the first voice of the council. "Primitive creatures in a primitive ship." Galen bowed his head. "They were unexpected. They found a weakness in our containment field that no other species has discovered." "And their message?" asked the second voice. "A warning. They claim they will fight if threatened." The council was silent for a moment. Then the third voice spoke. "Interesting. No lesser species has ever resisted us before. Perhaps these humans deserve further study." "Follow them," ordered the first voice. "Learn their strengths and weaknesses. Then we will decide if they are worth keeping alive." As the Prometheus raced home to warn Earth of the danger among the stars, the Zorani began their hunt. The first contact had gone wrong, but it was only the beginning. The war was coming. 5 years had passed since the Prometheus returned to Earth with news of the Zorani. The once peaceful planet now hummed with activity as humanity prepared for a war they hoped would never come. Admiral Jiwan stood at the window of the space station Sentinel, watching Earth's small defense fleet practicing maneuvers. 20 ships, that was all they had managed to build. The ships were fast and well armed, but Jiwan knew they wouldn't be enough if the Zorani came in force. "Still watching them?" asked a quiet voice behind him. Jiwan turned to see Taeyong, Earth's brilliant head scientist. The man looked tired, with dark circles under his eyes. He hadn't slept properly in months. "They're getting better," said Jiwan. "But will it matter?" Taeyong shook his head. "Not if these Zorani come with their full fleet. That's why I've been working on something else." He handed Jiwan a tablet. "I call it the Phoenix Protocol." Jiwan read through the document, his eyes growing wider with each page. This would be our last resort." "Yes," said Taeyong. "But it might be the only thing that saves us." The Phoenix Protocol used Earth's advanced understanding of fusion technology in a way no one had tried before. It could, in theory, create controlled reactions inside enemy ships, or even stars. "The Council will never approve this," said Jiwan. "They might if they have no other choice." An alarm blared through the station. The communication officer's voice came over the speakers. "Admiral, multiple ships detected at the edge of the solar system. They match Zorani designs from Captain Minji's report." Jiwan and Taeyong rushed to the command center. The main screen showed 15 large ships moving slowly toward Earth. "They're here," whispered Jiwan. "Send message to Earth Command. All ships to battle stations." Over the next 3 days, Jiwan tried repeatedly to talk with the Zorani. Each message was met with silence. Finally, as the alien ships passed the orbit of Mars, a response came. The main screen filled with the face of a Zorani commander. Its 4 eyes glowed coldly. "I am War Leader Yenka of the Zorani Collective. We have studied your species and found you lacking. Your resistance aboard the Prometheus was unexpected, but meaningless. Surrender your planet and serve the Collective, or be destroyed." Jiwan stood tall. "This is Admiral Jiwan of Earth Defense Command. We wish for peace, but we will defend our home. We invite you to talk." "There is nothing to discuss," interrupted Yenka. "You have 1 Earth day to surrender. Then we attack." The screen went black. Jiwan called an emergency meeting with Earth's leadership. Representatives from every major nation gathered virtually as he explained the situation. "They outmatch us in every way," he concluded. "Our fleet cannot stop them." "Then, we surrender?" asked one leader, fear in her voice. "No," said President Hana firmly. "We've seen from Captain Minji's report what surrender would mean, slavery or death." "What about Taeyong's Phoenix Protocol?" asked another leader. The room fell silent. Everyone had read the report. Everyone knew what it meant. "It's untested," said Jiwan. "And even if it works, using such a weapon would make us as bad as them," finished President Hana. "Perhaps. But I'd rather live with that guilt than watch our world burn." She looked around the room. "All in favor of authorizing the Phoenix Protocol?" One by one, hands raised. The vote was unanimous. As dawn broke over Earth, humanity prepared for war. Every ship was ready, every weapon charged. Taeyong and his team worked frantically to prepare the Phoenix devices. Aboard the Sentinel, Admiral Jiwan received word that the Zorani fleet had accelerated. They would reach Earth in hours, not days. "They never intended to wait," he said to his officers. "They just wanted us to hope." Captain Minji, now commanding the destroyer Defiance, spoke up from the communication screen. "Hope is all we have, Admiral. That, and the knowledge that we won't go down without a fight." Jiwan nodded. "All ships, take positions. First line. Of defense, prepare to engage." He paused, looking at the faces of his commanders. "Whatever happens today, remember, they came to our home. We didn't want this war. but we'll finish it. As the first Zorani ships appeared on the horizon of space, humanity steeled itself for the battle to come. The gathering storm had arrived. The battle for Earth began in the cold darkness of space. The Zorani ships moved with perfect formation, their weapons far more powerful than anything humans had built. Everyone knew this would not be a fair fight. Admiral Jiwan watched from the command center as the first shots were fired. The Earth Defense Fleet fired all weapons at once, a desperate attack against the approaching enemy. Most shots bounced harmlessly off the Zorani shields. "This isn't working," said Jiwan. "Time for Plan B. All ships, switch to Shadow Protocol." The Earth fleet suddenly scattered in all directions. The large ships retreated while smaller, faster vessels darted around the Zorani like flies around giants. The aliens seemed confused by this strange behavior. Captain Minji's ship, the Defiance, zoomed beneath a massive Zorani cruiser. Her weapons officer, Junho, fired precisely at a small section where two shield plates joined together. "Direct. Hit," he shouted as sparks flew from the enemy ship. "Good work," said Minji. "Now get us out of here before they respond." The Defiance was gone before the Zorani could lock weapons. 3 more small Earthships repeated the attack on different enemies, each striking and then running away. On the Zorani command ship, war leader Yenka growled in frustration. "These humans fight like cowards," he said. "They will not face us directly. Yet they are causing damage," replied his second-in-command. 4 of our ships report minor systems failures." "Minor now, but annoying," said Yenka. "Ignore the small ships. Press forward to their space stations. Once we destroy their command centers, these flies will have nowhere to hide." The Zorani fleet pushed toward Mars, where humans had built their first line of defense stations. The aliens fired their main weapons, and 2 stations exploded in brilliant flashes of light. Hundreds of people died in seconds. On Earth, scientist Taeyong watched the battle with growing horror. His team had finished the first 3 stellar disruptors, but they weren't fully tested yet. "We have to use them now," he told President Hana, "before we lose everyone out there." The president nodded grimly. "Do it." 3 small, unmanned ships shot from Earth's surface. Each carried one of Taeyong's devices, a machine that could create a fusion reaction similar to what happened inside a star. The ships were programmed to crash directly into Zorani vessels. Admiral Jiwan gave the order. "All ships clear the area around the targeted Zorani cruisers. I repeat, get clear now." The first disruptor hit its target. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a small sun seemed to bloom inside the Zorani ship. The entire vessel glowed from within, its metal skin bulging outward before it broke apart in a massive explosion. "It worked," whispered Taeyong, watching from Earth. The other 2 disruptors found their targets with the same result. 3 Zorani ships, gone in moments. For the first time, the alien fleet stopped advancing, but the victory was short-lived. The Zorani quickly adapted, creating stronger shields specifically designed to stop the disruptors. And worse, they began targeting Earth directly. "Missiles incoming," shouted an officer at Earth Defense Command. "They're aiming for major cities." Ground-based defense systems activated, shooting down many of the missiles, but not all. Tokyo, Cairo, and Rio de Janeiro were hit. Millions died in the first wave. As the war continued, a Zorani scout ship captured the Vigilant, a small Earth vessel. The crew, including Officer Heejin, were taken prisoner. The aliens expected the humans to beg for mercy or betray their comrades for better treatment. They were wrong. Heejin organized the prisoners, creating a system of silent signals and codes. They shared information, supported each other, and refused to give the Zorani anything useful despite painful interrogations. "Why do you resist?" asked the Zorani scientist studying them. "You cannot win. It is illogical." Heejin, her face bruised, but her eyes clear, simply replied, "Because we are human, and humans don't surrender to bullies." 2 weeks into the war, Earth was losing badly. Half the defense fleet was destroyed. Mars colonies had gone silent. The Zorani were getting closer to Earth every day. But they were also confused. These humans fought differently than any species they had encountered before. They never attacked the same way twice. They used their smaller ships to target specific weaknesses rather than engaging in direct combat, and their captured soldiers showed unexpected mental strength. These creatures, War Leader Yenka told the High Council, are more trouble than we expected. The Council was not impressed. Finish this, they ordered. We have wasted enough time on these primitives. Yenka bowed. It will be done. The final assault on Earth was about to begin. Earth's last defense lines were crumbling. 3 weeks into the war with the Zorani, humanity was running out of options. Half of Earth's major cities lay in ruins. The defense fleet was down to 7 ships. Millions were dead, and billions more faced death if something didn't change soon. Admiral Jiwan stood in what remained of Earth Defense Command, a bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. The room was filled with tired faces, people who hadn't slept properly in days. Commander Sunwoo, his most trusted officer, approached with new damage reports. The Asian shield grid is down, she said quietly. Australia has lost all communications. The Zorani have destroyed our last satellite network. Jiwan nodded, his face showing nothing of the despair he felt inside. And Taeyong? Any word? He's ready, said Sunwoo. The final version of the Phoenix Protocol is complete. Jiwan closed his eyes briefly. They had reached the moment he had hoped would never come. Tell him I'm on my way. Deep in a secret lab beneath what was once Seoul, Taeyong and his team had been working without rest. When Jiwan arrived, the scientist looked like a ghost, pale, thin, with haunted eyes. It works, said Taeyong without greeting. We tested it on a small scale. The stellar disruptor can now be targeted at any G-type star in our galaxy. And the effect? A controlled solar flare, directed precisely where we want it, enough to destroy a planet's atmosphere or just a single city. Jiwan stared at the small device on the table. It didn't look like a weapon that could destroy worlds. We're really going to do this? We have no choice, said Taeyong. It's this or extinction. An hour later, Jiwan stood before a communication array. The world's remaining leaders were connected, watching from bunkers across the planet. President Hana gave the final approval with a simple nod. Connect me to the Zorani flagship, ordered Jiwan. War Leader Yenka's face appeared on the screen, 4 eyes glowing with triumph. Have you finally come to surrender, human? No, said Jiwan calmly. I've come to give you one chance to leave. Yenka made the scraping sound that passed for Zorani laughter. Your world burns, your ships are destroyed. And you speak of chances? We have developed a weapon, said Jiwan. One that can target any G-type star in the galaxy, including the stars. Your homeworld's orbit, Yenka's eyes narrowed. You lie. We will demonstrate. Jiwan nodded to Taeyong, who sent a command to the satellite they had hidden beyond the orbit of Pluto. We are targeting an uninhabited star system 50 light-years from here, explained Jiwan. It has an automated Zorani outpost on the 4th planet. Watch your sensors. For 2 minutes, nothing happened. Then Yenka's face changed. One of his officers spoke rapidly in their language. What have you done? Demanded Yenka. A controlled solar flare, said Jiwan, precise enough to destroy only the outpost, leaving the rest of the system intact. We could have burned the entire planet, or all of them. Yenka was silent, processing this new information. Here is our message, continued Jiwan. Leave our space, or we'll torch your worlds. Unlike you, we don't wish to use this power, but we will if forced. You would destroy entire planets? Asked Yenka. Kill billions? You were ready to do the same to us, replied Jiwan. The difference is, we're giving you a choice. The High Council will not. The High Council has 1 hour to decide, interrupted Jiwan. Then we target the Zorani home system. Not for destruction yet. Just a demonstration like today. After that, it's up to you. The communication ended. In the silence that followed, Commander Sunwoo approached Jiwan. Do you think they'll believe us? They have to, said Jiwan. Because if they don't, he left the sentence unfinished. Everyone knew what would happen if the Zerani called their bluff. But it wasn't a bluff. For the first time in their history, humans had the power to destroy worlds. The question was whether they had the wisdom not to use it. The hour passed slowly. Finally, the communication system lit up. Yenka's face appeared again, but something had changed in his expression. The collective requires time to discuss your proposal, he said stiffly. We will withdraw our forces to the edge of your solar system while discussions take place. Jiwan kept his face neutral, not showing the rush of relief he felt. Agreed, but any aggressive move will be met with immediate response. As the Zerani ships pulled back, celebrations erupted across Earth. But Jiwan and Taeyong didn't join them. They knew this wasn't over. The Zerani might be retreating, but they wouldn't give up so easily. What happens now? Asked Taeyong. Now, said Jiwan, we prepare for whatever comes next. Peace or war, it's their choice. 6 months passed since the Zerani fleet had retreated to the edge of the solar system. Earth slowly began to heal. People rebuilt cities. Fields were planted again. The defense fleet grew stronger, with new ships and better weapons. Captain Minji, now healed from her injuries in the war, stood on the observation deck of the space station Unity. This station had been built at the halfway point between Earth and Mars, a symbol of humanity's determination to keep moving forward despite everything they had lost. Beautiful view, said a voice behind her. Minji turned to see Admiral Jiwan. The war had aged him. His hair had more gray now, and deep lines marked his face. The reports say the Zerani fleet is moving, said Minji. Are they finally attacking again? Actually, no, replied Jiwan. They're sending a single ship. They say it's for talks. Minji's eyes widened. You don't believe them? I don't know what to believe anymore, said Jiwan. But President Hana has agreed to meet with them here, on neutral ground. And she wants you there. Me? Why? Because you were the first to meet them. The first to escape them, too. 2 days later, Minji stood with Earth's leaders as the small Zerani ship docked with the Unity. Unlike the massive warships, this vessel was elegant and clearly designed for diplomacy, not battle. The airlock opened, and 3 Zerani entered. Minji recognized the one in front, war leader Yenka. Behind him came 2 others, including one wearing elaborate decorations that seemed to indicate high rank. Greetings, said the decorated Zerani, in a voice that sounded almost musical compared to Yenka's harsh tones. I am Elder Minyoung of the High Council. I come seeking not war, but understanding. President Hana stepped forward. You are welcome to speak, Elder Minyoung, but understand that we remain cautious after your people's attack on our world. Minyoung bowed slightly. As you should be. War leader Yenka has explained your impressive defense and your ultimatum. The elder's 4 eyes studied the humans, carefully. You are a surprising species. In our long history, no one has ever stood against the collective as you have. We didn't want war, said Hana firmly. We still don't. Nor do we now that we understand what we face. Minyoung gestured, and a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed a massive dark shape moving through space, consuming everything in its path. This is why we came to your world. This is why we have conquered many worlds before yours. What is it? Asked Taeyong, stepping closer to the image. We call them the Void Harbingers. They are ancient and patient. They consume entire star systems. For energy, they have been moving toward our space for centuries. Minji felt cold. And you've been conquering worlds to, what? Create a buffer zone? Yes, admitted Minyoung. We have been building an empire to stand against them, taking resources, technology, and soldiers from every world we find. That's why you wanted Earth, said Jiwan. Not just for conquest, but for defense against something worse. Yes, but we never expected to find a world with your particular abilities. Minyoung turned to Taeyong. Your stellar manipulation technology, It could be the key to defeating the Harbingers. They feed on stars. If we could control how stars react to them. The room fell silent as everyone processed the implications. You want our help, said President Hana finally. After trying to destroy us? Yes, said Minyoung simply. We were wrong about your people. We saw you as primitives to be used, not as equals to be respected. The elder looked directly at Minji. Your ship, the Prometheus, showed us our error, and your ultimatum proved it. Taeyong stepped forward. If these harbingers are real, my team would need to study them. We would need access to your research, your technology. All will be provided, said Minyoung, in exchange for an alliance. The discussions lasted for days. Trust came slowly. But as Earth scientists examined the Zorani data, they confirmed the threat was real. The Void Harbingers were coming, and neither humans nor Zorani could face them alone. 1 month later, Minji found herself on a new ship, the Alliance, headed toward a gathering of species at the edge of Zorani space. As Earth's ambassador, she would help forge the treaties that might save them all. On the observation deck, she watched the stars with Dohyun, her old friend from the Prometheus. Did you ever think we'd end up here? He asked. Working with the very aliens who tried to kill us? No, admitted Minji. But that's what humans do. We adapt. We forgive when it makes sense. We find ways to survive. As she prepared to address the Council of Species, Minji thought about the message she had left for the Zorani all those months ago. Looking at the assembled aliens, former enemies now turned potential allies, she knew exactly what to say. We never wanted to torch your worlds, she told them, her voice strong and clear. We wanted to light them up, and for the first time the Zorani understood.